how did you get into music in the first place?
I'm a musician myself, so
Oh.
ever since when I was 2, I started hammering on the piano right away. And
Like
got
this?
Into early yeah, like this. I want
That's
to play.
felonious. Felonious.
Since I am a musician, but I also direct movies, I work with a lot of musicians, professional musicians. So I not only get to do music, but I get to promote others people's music, which is beautiful. This place has so much history in it, and I'm incredibly honored to be here tonight. As a filmmaker, I mean, I love to tell stories. That is the thing. And you can tell a story in a song, for example, by writing lyrics, by writing a song, by writing a piece of music, classical music, or you can tell a story on the screen. And
Or use both.
I love to combine best of both worlds and tell stories about not only music but the people behind it and what motivated them, what drives their passion.
So tell us about the arc and the status of the film. This is close to the release of the film. Are you going to do festivals, or so is this New York premiere?
It is, yes. Today we have. So today is April 15th. This is the New York premiere for Emerging of the Shadows. We're so excited to be here tonight.
Directors Guild, that's like,
the Directors Guild
A+.
of America. It can't get better than this. And we're incredibly honored that a couple of film festivals have accepted our film so far.
Are you allowed to say it?
It was screened, yes, it was screened in Georgia, not the state, but the country Georgia, and we received
Which festival?
An award. It's called Music and Dance Film Screenings Festival in Tiflis, Georgia. It was incredibly beautiful to be part of it because they actually went through, so they made the audience write notes to us, and we got incredibly beautiful feedback from the audience, and this is so valuable to me as a filmmaker, right? To be with other people.
How many? Is this your first and third feature? Or?
It is my third feature documentary. Yes, exactly.
That's
and
great.
you know, we're just as musicians practice at home and then they go on stage. And during the concert, they're able to connect with their audience. And we as filmmakers, we work from home a lot of the time. We're in the editing room, carving out the story. And we don't get to feel the audience as often, to speak with other people to see how they felt about it, what emotions come up for them.
You were a musician, and you would listen to these people's work and performed it before, and that's what kind of made you feel them?
Kristina and Constantine and I, we were introduced by a mutual producer friend of ours, Bernhard Fleischer, who now actually has gone on to become the manager of the Hong Kong Philharmonic. So he switched from being a producer to an orchestra manager. Bernhard and I worked a lot in the States, in Vienna, in Germany, and he knows Kristina and Constantine very well. So he said, like, hey, you guys should get together, because Kristina and Constantine were planning on an album production, and they wanted a behind the scenes. And he asked me, don't you want to do the behind the scenes? I said, sure.
Yeah.
And you know, the thing is, then I got to talking with them, and I realized, my filmmaker's heart realized, this is so much more behind the scenes. This is a full-on documentary. It's also an honor that through this movie I got to learn more about Weinberg and Korngold. Their life stories are really touching, because they had a lot of hardships that they had to deal with, and they dealt with it so in an incredibly incredible way through staying creative. Weinberg was born in Warsaw, Poland, and he ended up fleeing from the Nazis, and he ended up in the USSR. In the end, he lived in Moscow, which was also difficult for him because there were strict rules on what to compose and how to compose, and he had to try to not lose his identity. What is so amazing about Korngold and Weinberg is that they never lost their identity. They stayed true to themselves no matter what happened around them, and that is something I think we can look up to.
Well, the things we've covered over the years, the most successful genre is the music pieces by far. There's not even a comparison anymore, you know? So you have a decent chance of getting your money back.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
So what What kind of cameras did you use for this?
We shot, so the beautiful thing I think about this movie is that it's not a high production value. It's actually, we financed it ourselves. So we shot it on Sony, different Sony cameras. Sony,
FX9?
not even. We shot it on the Sony Alpha and a Panasonic, but I cannot name you the model right now. But so the beautiful thing with this is that really the story carries itself.
But you move the camera a lot, is that
It's not a
correct?
big production value, but the story carries through
smaller
the
cameras
movie.
that
Yeah,
are easy.
they're small.
Your
smaller
DP,
cameras.
where's your, is your DP?
No, actually not. So our DP is Davidas Nutautas, and he's a Lithuanian cameraman from Vilnius, Lithuania, and he was a fantastic help. He knew he knew Kaunas, where we shot the story, and he was fantastic to work with.
And what do you edit on? Which program?
I edit myself, and I edit on Adobe Premiere.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
What advantage does it give you to be a musician as far as putting this together and especially editing?
I think coming from music myself determines the way I ask questions, because even though I'm not on an international stage myself, I know the feeling. I know what needs to be done in verse, the creative side of it. So I think musicians I interview feel it. Editing is about rhythm. It's about, and I love it so much, like going back and changing even 2 frames. It can be the framing, but it can also be the rhythm of creating a calm atmosphere. One of my favorite parts of the movie is when Kristina and Constantine perform the final movement of Weinberg's Fantasia. It is so moving, and to also hear them explain what's going on, really, it touches me every time, and it really made me, I had tears in my eyes several times while watching it. I have to say, it's not always easy to talk about music, right? It's not, because music is something that we're supposed to experience, we're supposed to feel, we need to feel, and not everyone can put it into words, actually, what's happening. And that is something where Kristina and Constantine are also just a filmmaker's dream